Yeah, Lisa, can you give us actually some historical context to sex trafficking in the U.S.? It was previously called something like the White Slave Traffic Act?
Right. Good afternoon, and thanks for having me. It was originally called the Mann Act, and the Mann Act was enacted in the early 1900s to prevent slavery, to prevent women to being lured into sex slavery. And there was, to give you a little bit of context, there was an influx of immigrants that were coming in that were being sex trafficked and put into forced prostitution. And the immigrant men that were coming in were also luring young American women into sex trafficking. So this act was initially the Mann Act, but it was to prevent that. However, it started to become weaponized against men who were black men especially, and to prevent them to getting into consensual relationships with white women. And so the boxer Jack Johnson was a part of that, and he was caught up in that and was sent to prison, as were other people, that Chuck Berry, for example. So we have that.
Yeah, that indeed. And Lisa, what's the difference between, say, the sex trafficking charges that we see in this case and, say, the average person who pays for, say, an Uber or buy food for someone to cross state line and then they end up hooking up?
Well, the big difference here is there is generally one, power imbalance, and the second instance is there is generally a criminal element that is attached to it. So in this instance, when you were having this with the Abercrombie CEO, he was, using his power as the CEO and actually luring them into false promises of a modeling contract, for example. With Diddy, you have the sex parties that were being used in terms of the dynamic of allowing them to get record contracts. So there are differences in terms of that. Nobody is interested in really your personal, private, sexual, consensual acts with consenting adults.
Understood.
All right, Lisa, we've commonly heard the term casting couch, which in some industries was considered normal. Since the Me Too movement, do you feel that we're moving into a new direction where we're starting to see more sex trafficking charges because of the times?
I do. I actually feel that there is a level of accountability that is happening now. The things that used to go on last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, for example, they're not being tolerated. The days are over when women are going to be, and young people are going to be exploited and taken advantage of. The SDNY is aggressively pursuing these cases, as you can see, one by one, and you will see many more of these cases coming down the pike as I anticipate.
All right, Lisa Bonner joining us, the attorney. Thank you very much.